What's up everyone, I am Tim Oates on bass, and this video is actually not about music, but keep watching. Alright, so I know this is a music channel, but I'm here today to talk about working from home. And this is something that impacts a lot of musicians now and a lot of non-musicians, but I figure I might be able to actually help some people out because I've been working from home for a number of years in different capacities. Right now we're in this crazy time where there's a ton of people working from home that weren't expecting it, for those that are lucky enough to still have jobs. So I do have a lot of experience with this. I do have a day job. I'm not a professional musician. Unfortunately, I do not get paid to play music or make videos all day. It'd be great if I did, but I don't. So to pay the bills, I do have a real job, and I've been working from home for a number of years. Now, there's a lot of videos out there of people giving advice on working from home, and the advice that they give is very good, and I completely agree with everything they say, but usually it's 3 tips. Have a schedule and a routine, minimize distractions, and wear pants or get dressed. Like, those are typically the 3 common tips that I see in all the videos that are out. And while I agree with all of those wholeheartedly, I actually think those are fantastic tips, and if I was giving someone advice on how to do it to stay productive, those are the tips that I would give. But I want to actually spend a little bit of time talking about tips on how to keep your sanity. Because working from home full time when you're not used to it can actually make you go a little stir crazy. And everyone right now is kind of staying indoors and not getting out as it is. So there's enough of that already, but then you throw kind of working on top of it, it can really start to get to you. So here are my 3 tips for keeping your sanity while working from home and being inside a lot. So my first tip is to use your phone. Actually use this thing for making calls. I know a lot of us will be on this all day and night and not actually use it for phone calls for days or weeks sometimes, right? But the human connection that you're gonna get from actually talking to someone on the phone and hearing their voice, it's worlds different than dealing with, video meetings and chat sessions and emails and things like that. Even though the video sessions are great because you get to see people, it's usually some sort of a conference call. It feels a little more corporate. What I'm saying to pick up your phone is I'm saying pick up your phone outside of meetings, right? If you are working with someone on your team, call them or ping them and say, hey, you got time for a quick call. It is less efficient. I get that. There's a reason that emails and chat sessions and things out there are in existence in the corporate world. It is much more efficient. But when you're dealing with being inside and actually, kind of getting cooped up and going a little nuts, that human connection is huge. So pick up the phone, call people that you're working with on different projects. If you're in leadership, make sure you're calling your people to check in on them, having, a real conversation, right? Like, obviously everyone's working, so you can't necessarily spend 30 minutes catching up and how are the kids doing and, have you seen this movie or whatever? Like, spend, a couple minutes checking in on everyone, making sure everyone's good, things like that. Get to the work aspect of whatever the call is, but do that more often, right? Those phone calls are actually going to help keep your sanity a little bit. All right, the second thing is to get out of the house. And I know right now we're being told to stay in the house. So this tip may be more for down the road. I do believe more companies will embrace remote work after all of this is said and done. But for right now, obviously you can't get out of the house too much. What I would do normally before all of this is I would kind of spread my errands out throughout the week. I would make sure that I wouldn't necessarily go on an errand run where I was doing everything, right? Going to the store, going to the bank, getting dry cleaning. Like, a lot of people kind of try to do those at once so their errands are all out of the way. But when you're in the house constantly, I would actually spread them out. Go to the store one day, go to the bank another day, because it gave me a reason to get out of the house. Now, right now, go for a walk, right? There's nothing saying you can't go out and get some exercise. They want you to stay away from people and of course, follow whatever your local ordinance is. I'm not saying break any laws or anything like that. Whatever your local officials are saying, follow that. But yeah, get outside, take a walk, even if it's just walking around your house. The fresh air, the sunlight does wonders, right? Just find a way to do that for a few minutes if you're able to. And when all of this turns back to some normalcy, if you're still working from home, then try to loop in your errands throughout the week so that way you're able to get out of the house more. Because being inside for days at a time, that does wear on you. So getting out's really important. And my last tip is about taking the extra time and using it wisely, right? So there's a commute that all of us have going into the office. For some people, it's 5-10 minutes. For me, I actually live an hour away from the office. That's why I work from home mostly, is it's just the commute's quite a bit for me. So for me, the time that I get back from that commute, I found that at first I was putting that all into work, right? Like work was getting an extra 2 hours from me every day, but don't fall into that trap. That time that you get back from the commute, put that into your family or into your hobbies or things for you. Don't give that time to the company. That's not theirs, that's your time. Make sure that you're using that time for you. So for instance now, the way that I approach my extra time is in the morning. Instead of waking up and rushing and slamming coffee and showering and getting out the door to commute before, or then the way I started is I would wake up and just immediately log in and start working right away. I take time for me. I wake up, I put on the news, I get my coffee, and I sit on the couch for an hour waking up and taking in the day. And then I go and I log in. And then at the end of the day, I'm signing off when I'm done. I'm not giving that time for the commute. Find the time to give back to yourself, to give back to your family. Don't give it to the company. Don't use the lack of the commute to give them more time. You're on the clock, you're off the clock. And I get there are certain jobs that you're kind of on the clock all the time, but take that extra time for you. Do not give it to the company. It's the biggest advice I can get, because it is a very easy trap where you can work from home, so you work all the time from home. Separate. All right, so hopefully this video has been helpful. If it has been, please give it a like. If you have any other tips for anyone else out there or any questions on working from home, drop a comment. Look, this is a weird, crazy time we're in. We're all in this together. Please be kind to each other. There's a lot of people stressed out there, but if we can just show a little extra kindness to the few people that we do interact with in person, and then of course, the people we interact with online or calling into call centers, which are getting bombarded right now. Remember, everyone's a person out there like you are trying to deal with this, so a little extra kindness in the world will go a long way. We're gonna get through this. We're gonna end up better and stronger on the other side of this craziness, but until then, keep making beautiful music, wash your hands, and I will see you in the next video. One of my cats just body slammed the other one into my light stand. It's absurd. See, I would grab the camera and record this so you could see the nonsense, but my floor is kind of dirty. So yeah, that's not happening. You two idiots done?